Patrick Muldoon, a face that defined an entire era of television. From daytime drama to primetime hits, from romantic leads to complex villains, he was a man who built his career with passion, consistency, and undeniable screen presence. For millions of fans, he was not just an actor, he was a part of their daily lives. But in April 2026, the world was hit with shocking news. Patrick Muldoon was gone. No warning, no long public illness, just a sudden and heartbreaking loss that left fans searching for answers. So today, we're going to take a deep and detailed look into his life, his rise to fame, his struggles, his achievements, and finally, the truth behind his sudden death. Patrick Muldoon was born as William Patrick Muldoon III on September 27, 1968, in San Pedro, California. Growing up in Southern California, Patrick experienced a lifestyle that was both grounded and full of opportunity. He came from a culturally rich family background, with Irish roots from his father's side and Croatian heritage from his mother's side. This mix of traditions and values helped shape his personality, giving him both discipline and creativity from an early age. As a child, Patrick was not immediately drawn to acting. Instead, he was deeply interested in sports. He was athletic, competitive, and determined to succeed physically as well as mentally. During his high school years, he attended Loyola High School, where he began to stand out not just academically, but especially in athletics. Football became one of his biggest passions, and that passion followed him into college. When he enrolled at the University of Southern California, there, he played as a tight end for the USC Trojans football team. At that time, his future seemed to be heading towards sports, not Hollywood. But life has a way of changing direction when you least expect it. Patrick's entry into the entertainment world wasn't planned. Like many actors, his journey began with small opportunities and a willingness to take risks. In the early 1990s, he started appearing in minor television roles. These roles were brief, sometimes barely noticeable, but they gave him something invaluable: experience. He appeared in shows like Who's the Boss and Saved by the Bell. At that stage, he was still learning, still growing, still trying to understand his place in Hollywood. But one thing was clear: he had the look, the confidence, and the natural screen presence that casting directors couldn't ignore. And soon, his big break arrived. Everything changed when Patrick Muldoon was cast as Austin Reed in the legendary soap opera Days of Our Lives. This wasn't just another role. This was the role that would define his career. He became the very first actor to portray Austin Reed, which meant he had the responsibility of creating the character from the ground up. And he delivered. From 1992 to 1995, Patrick became one of the most recognizable faces in daytime television. His character was charming, emotional, and relatable. Audiences connected with him instantly. Fans followed his storylines every day, investing emotionally in his character's relationships, struggles, and growth. His performance brought depth and authenticity, turning Austin Reed into a fan-favorite character. Years later, he returned to reprise the same role, which proved just how iconic his performance truly was. Not every actor gets the chance to define a character and then come back to it years later. Patrick Muldoon did exactly that. After achieving major success in soap operas, Patrick didn't limit himself. He wanted more. He wanted to explore different types of roles and challenge himself as an actor. That ambition led him into primetime television and eventually into films. One of his most notable roles came in Melrose Place, where he played Richard Hart. Unlike his previous romantic and heroic roles, this character was darker, more complex, and sometimes even manipulative. It allowed him to showcase a completely different side of his acting ability, and audiences noticed. Then came one of his biggest film roles. In 1997, he starred in the sci-fi film Starship Troopers, playing the character Xander Barkalow. This film introduced him to an international audience. It was action-packed, visually intense, and became a cult classic over time. For many fans, This is the role they remember him for the most. Patrick Muldoon was not just limited to acting. He was a creative individual in every sense of the word. He explored music and became the lead singer of a band called the Sleeping Masses. Music gave him another outlet, another way to express himself beyond the screen. He also worked as a producer, helping bring stories to life behind the scenes. This transition showed that he wasn't just interested in fame, he was passionate about storytelling itself. Whether it was acting, singing, or producing, Patrick wanted to create. Despite being in the public eye, Patrick Muldoon managed to keep much of his personal life private. He wasn't someone who constantly sought media attention. Instead, he focused on his work, his relationships, and the people close to him. Those who knew him personally often described him as kind, hard-working, and deeply passionate about his craft. He was someone who valued genuine connections and preferred a quieter life outside of Hollywood's spotlight. In his later years, he was in a relationship with Miriam Rothbard, who remained close to him during his final days. Even after decades in the industry, Patrick Muldoon never stopped working. He remained active, taking on new roles and continuing to evolve as an artist. He worked on several independent films and upcoming projects, showing that his passion for acting had never faded. In fact, just days before his death, he was reportedly excited about future opportunities. He was still planning, still creating, still looking forward to what was next, which makes what happened next even more tragic. On April 19th, 2026, Patrick Muldoon passed away at the age of 57. The news spread quickly, and for many fans, it was hard to believe. There had been no major warnings, no widely known health struggles. It felt sudden, unexpected, unreal. Reports later confirmed that Patrick Muldoon died from a heart attack. It was a sudden medical emergency, one that gave little to no warning. According to available information, he was found unresponsive and could not be revived. Heart attacks can often strike without clear signs, and in Patrick's case, it appears to have been exactly that, a sudden and devastating moment that ended a life full of talent and years of contribution to entertainment. As soon as the news broke, tributes began pouring in from across the world. Fans took to social media, sharing memories, favorite scenes, and heartfelt messages. Co-stars and colleagues also expressed their grief, remembering him not just as an actor, but as a friend, a collaborator, and a genuinely good person. His passing left a void, one that cannot easily be filled. Patrick Muldoon's legacy is one of dedication, versatility, and passion. He proved that success in Hollywood is not just about fame, but about consistency, growth, and love for the craft. From soap operas to primetime drama to films to music, he left his mark in multiple fields. And even though he is no longer here, his work continues to live on. Through reruns, through films, and through the memories of fans. Patrick Muldoon may be gone, but his story will never be forgotten. If you were a fan of his work, take a moment to remember him and tell us in the comments, what was your favorite role of Patrick Muldoon? Because legends are never truly gone. They live on through the stories they leave behind.